Oh, hey there. Come on in. We're just about to start. Welcome to My Wife, the Dietitian, a fun weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy lifestyle. I'm Rob, and together with my wife, Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative and entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
Join us each week as we strive to help you with transforming your overall health and relationship with food through up-to-date, evidence-based nutrition information. Diet culture is so pervasive in our society, and today we have a passionate and lively discussion with our special guest, Lisa Duncan. Lisa is a fitness coach and gym owner with a different philosophy when it comes to supporting people and their health goals.
For me, it took more than 25 years of self-loathing, disordered eating, and fighting with my body before I found a different way to live. It's not normal to walk around hungry, hating your body, and feeling completely disconnected from yourself.
Stick around to hear this powerful message.
Welcome to My Wife, the Dietitian. This is episode 60. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Rob.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. What are we talking about today?
Ditching the diet culture.
Ditching that diet culture. Yeah, and I hear we have a special guest joining us today.
Yes, we've got Lisa Duncan joining us today. Lisa is a local gym owner and fitness trainer. We were so excited to have Lisa come and talk to us today because there was a recent interview with the CBC in January on New Year's resolutions and fitness goals and diet culture. And this is what we want to talk to Lisa about today. And Lisa, I'd love to introduce you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much
Hey,
for
Lisa.
having me. And hi. Glad to be here.
Thanks for
That's
joining us.
great. Well, yeah, give us a bit of a background about who you are and what you do, other than that we both have daughters with similar age and they went to the same high school, which is kind of a cool relationship for us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm a mom to two awesome kids, 22 and 20 years old. Been in the fitness industry for a long time, since the 90s. Took a break when we moved over here to have our children and raise our family. And in 2018, my husband and I opened our own little fitness studio. I'm a certified personal trainer and sports nutrition through the International Sports Sciences Association. I'm a certified Girls Gone Strong Level 1 coach, and I'm continuing my education in intuitive eating and pre and postnatal coaching.
Oh, wow. That's quite the resume.
Very varied. That's awesome. I love it. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's so good to have, I love your philosophy because I listened to that CBC interview and that's really important framework when you're talking to a whole variety of different women. So that's, I'm
Yes.
so excited to hear this interview actually and just talk to you about this.
Yes.
So my first question I have is when discussing diet culture, what are some key factors that stand out?
Well, first of all, do you know what diet culture is?
Oh, that's a good, let's start there. Let's do a
That's
definition.
a great idea. Yeah, I was thinking of that today. The fact that there's an actual term says a lot. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you want to discuss that, that'd be an interesting place to start.
Well, basically, diet culture it's a system of beliefs and values that prioritizes body weight, shape, and size over actual true health and well-being. It places moral value on behaviors, products, foods, goals, all designed to achieve a specific body type, typically thin and fit. But how many
Right.
people actually fit that? I mean, it seems like everyone around you is entrenched in dieting and chasing this thin ideal, it's incredibly hard not to fall into the diet culture trap.
Absolutely. You're never going to ever be perfect or fit into that. I mean, most people don't fit into it. They fall outside of that realm.
Let me tell you, diet culture, it stinks like yesterday's diapers. The whole focus preys on encouraging people to lose as much weight as possible and as quickly as possible. And it's causing harm.
Yeah, it totally is.
Psychological harm, physical harm, emotional harm, social harm. Like it's just, there's so many harms that it causes.
And with social media now, it's increasing the problem like exponentially because I mean it's been around for years, but social media is just, it's gone through the roof because it's in your face all the time, and
Yeah.
everyone's, liking or comparing or whatever. And it's very photo based, social media is very photo based. So you're constantly being bombarded by all these images of perfection that you can't achieve. So it must,
Yes.
yeah, it's wreaking havoc for sure.
It is. And believe me, I've been through the whole gamut of diet culture myself. For me, it took more than 25 years of self loathing, disordered eating, and fighting with my body before I found a different way to live.
Wow.
It's not normal to walk around hungry, hating your body, and feeling completely disconnected from yourself. And you know what?
Totally.
There was no one in my life to tell me this because they didn't know it either. Everyone around me was so immersed in diet culture and not even having a clue that they're actually immersed in diet culture.
Yeah, because it's normal. It's kind of
It's
normalized in our
normal talking
yes,
about your latest diet or
ah,
every like how little I ate yesterday or how bad I was for eating that yesterday or
yeah, and even
oh
like the
yeah,
sizes in like the fashion industry, it's like the size you go down to 0. It's kind of like 0 means nothing. Like how can that be a size? That it's just
I know.
that to me is just so detrimental to the psyche of girls and women and men too. But it's just 0. What the heck is that?
You
Yeah,
know what though?
that's
That's
crazy.
perfectly acceptable in diet culture. Perfectly acceptable and normal. And that's scary.
Ugh,
It's the
it is
goal
so
almost.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably wasn't until I was introduced to the concepts of intuitive eating, size diversity, body neutrality by a mentor in a course that I took that things started to change. And when I did the work to really take my long held beliefs about food, body, weight, and health and hold them up to the light, my whole life transformed.
Ugh,
I think the most helpful for me was detaching my self worth from my appearance,
Yeah, that's
yes.
reconnecting with
huge.
my own inner voice. Yeah, that I didn't have to love my body to not hate it. I could be neutral and appreciative of my body, regardless of its size or shape. Learning to make peace with food and see it as the nourishing, pleasurable, life giving thing it was always meant to be.
Right.
And looking at your body, like just like thinking about your leg. Look at my legs, like take me from A to B. My arms are strong. I can
Really?
lift groceries. I can lift my baby. I can lift things. If I
Yes.
didn't have weight, if I didn't have bone mass, if I didn't have muscle, and if I had a like that number on the scale was low, would it, that it doesn't all make sense. It doesn't add up. Like we have weight, our head weighs something, our muscles, our bones,
Exactly.
and we want strong bones and strong muscles, and we want to be able to do things. And, I think so many people look at that scale and they see fat. They see just that means, oh, I've gained fat. I've gained fat, and it's like,
It's so not true.
no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's just so detrimental to people's psyche, really.
People will weigh themselves more than once a day. And if it doesn't say what they expect, then their mood is just tanked for the whole day. And then right back to the self-punishing things like not eating or going for a run or just because of a number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy.
society influences how we eat in an attempt to get us to conform to an ideal image. Does that not sound oppressive?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
totally.
It sounds
Right.
Yeah.
completely oppressive. What?
Well, it sells
Why?
products. I mean,
It sure
there's a
does.
whole, there's that whole side of it too that we won't get into. But I mean, there is purpose behind it
Oh,
all.
no, we
That
are gonna get into that in question number 2, Rob.
oh, okay.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa, one question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there.
No,
How
that's
old were
fine.
you, if you don't mind me asking, when you sort of were able to change out of your old way of thinking about dieting and that sort of thing?
How old, you said?
My
Yeah,
How old was I? Well,
yeah.
late 40s.
Oh, wow. So like full adult
Yeah,
age. Okay, it wasn't
full
like a
adult.
teenage thing. It
No,
was holy moly. So you're in a really good
fairly.
position then. You've run the gamut. You've seen it
I've run
all.
the
So you're
gamut.
in a good position to be helping others.
Yes, definitely.
I would say, it's often the best coaches I find are the ones who've actually been down that road, and
Yes.
they can talk the talk and walk the walk and all that sort of thing. So yeah, good on you
Yeah.
for finding the light.
Yes, definitely. For sure. I'm glad I did too.
Yeah,
Had an
it's life
awakening.
changing, hey, and also
It
good on you
is.
for helping others, because that's, like, you had a journey, and it's good to be able to share what you learned from that, and help others.
Yeah. Too many of my clients talk about changing up certain body parts, and it's usually said with a lot of pain, frustration, and shame because we're sold that message that a certain look is like being thin and
Desirable,
slightly
yeah,
muscular is the best way to look. I mean, there's
right,
nothing wrong with
right,
looking that way, but that messaging leaves the majority of the people who don't look that way scrambling to do everything to change their bodies, denying hunger,
exactly.
overtraining, going on this plan and that plan, sometimes plastic surgery, or spending thousands of dollars on pills and supplements or waist trainers. Maybe not going out with their family and friends or participating in activities because they don't have the body that society says they should have.
Yeah, it's a sad state for sure.
And it's impossible for the majority of people to reach.
And I think that's the goal, though. I mean, that's how they sell the products, because if everyone reached the goal, then we'd be there, right? We'd be done.
Yeah,
There'd be
that's right. Exactly.
nothing more to sell people, and so it's kind of constantly. I remember taking a course in university years ago too, and all about the beauty ideal. The name of that book, Sandra, do you remember? Was it Naomi Wolf?
The beauty myth.
Oh,
The Beauty Myth. Amazing book if
yeah.
you haven't read it, but um yeah, it's like they constantly keep changing the goal line so that you can't reach it. And if you
Right.
look at what was considered beautiful back in the 60s, Marilyn Monroe, she'd be
Yes,
considered obese these days,
you're right.
but her body type was the ideal back then, and like the sex symbol of the day kind of thing, right? And then since then
Like,
it's kind of gotten a lot more thin and fit looking, I guess, is
Well, and
the
then there's the
ideal everyone's
Twiggy.
chasing. But
Do you remember Twiggy was like stick thin?
in the
yes,
70s, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's like, why is the fashion industry dictating what our body should look like or what our health should be
exactly.
like? That's the other
Yes,
question,
it's not
right?
health. So not health.
no,
No, it's all
exactly.
about what you look like. And that does such a number on your, self-image and self-acceptance.
Absolutely.
So back to I want to just go back to this other question. So when discussing diet culture, what are some key factors that stand out? We probably covered a lot of these.
It's okay though. A lot of things that stand out when talking about diet culture, like in the fitness industry or
Sure,
as a
yeah.
whole. Well, getting into that, the fitness industry, I find that we're often amplifying rather than interrupting the message of today's diet culture in a way that's saying that weight loss and calories burned, they've become the primary markers of success. We're using, not us particularly, but overall, you see a lot of marketing slogans for fitness challenges like Summer Beach Body Challenge or Way Less for the Dress or Little Black Dress Challenge. They're everywhere. You can't go far without hearing the powers of clean eating or 30-day challenges and detox kicks. Our industry keeps
Yes.
Totally.
clients stuck in cycles of dieting, food perfectionism, and using movement primarily for weight loss. And it's not that's not true.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did the little black dress challenge once years ago, and
How did it
It's so
go?
funny.
it was fun. It was fun. I wasn't able to fit in the little black dress, but I felt good about myself anyway. So I considered it a success.
You're so funny.
You did you didn't find it perpetuated a harmful dialogue with you and your body, putting focus
No,
on
no, we
aesthetics
didn't.
like that?
We didn't get that far. I think my expectations at the beginning were a little more realistic when I saw the
Okay,
little
good,
black
good.
dress. So yeah, I started it off at a good place. So
Excellent. That's really good.
What are some things to look for, like how to spot diet culture agenda in the wellness industry or fitness and gym culture world?
Oh, well, there's lots of little ways. In diet culture, you're going to hear, in the gym specifically, you're going to hear things like, well, people commenting on, well, from instructors specifically, when they're saying things like, we're going to earn your dinner tonight, we're going to earn your birthday cake, we're going to burn off the long weekend treats, we're going to do a challenge to see who can drop the most weight in 30 days, all of those things. Those are some pretty
Oh,
major red flags.
Do you think they're saying that because they think that's what people want to hear, because they're trapped in
Definitely.
that mentality too? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it should be. Everybody should want the same thing for sure.
And it's just that whole orthorexia kind of thing where you have, you eat a cookie, you have to go for a run. You had
Yes.
dinner. Oh, I got to go for a walk. And it's like, no, it's not. It's that whole calories in equals calories out. And you got to be equal to keep your weight stable. And it's not, there's so many other factors with metabolism. And it's just so not healthy to even think that way because we need fuel. We need food to fuel our body and to be
Yes.
healthy. But it's just, and people think that you can like spot like I'm going to lose weight just here on my love handles or that kind of thing, and it's like that's not really something you can do either. It's just,
Yeah.
oh
Oh,
gosh.
yeah. And we shouldn't even, as instructors, be commenting on people's bodies, like even saying, like, wow,
No.
you look great. You've lost weight. What our clients hear is, you didn't look as good before. Thinner is better.
Ah,
Ooh, I'm being judged. I
Right.
better stop eating. And clients might come in and say something like, oh, I feel so fat. And if we say, no, you look great, they hear, oh, fat is bad. The smaller your
oh,
body, the better. What
True.
what we should say is, I can hear you're not feeling good in your body today. So what's going on? Like, where are these feelings coming from?
yeah,
So really, there's
exactly.
power in our words.
Did you learn that stuff, or is that just that's your own way of approaching it? Like, is that taught?
I've learned it. I've had to learn
Yeah.
it. I couldn't come up with this on my own when I was so entrenched in diet culture. So the Girls Gone Strong course that I did really opened my eyes to a lot of this.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You do a lot of work with girls, obviously, and that's a
Yeah.
big part of it, right? Is that how you communicate is huge.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much power in our words. They hear it for sure.
Yeah, there really is, and a lot of times you don't realize. I mean, like I would totally do the same thing if someone says, "Oh, I don't feel great." I'm like, "Oh, well, you look good." Like it's just a
Yeah.
natural thing that you think you're being nice, but at the same time, you don't realize what isn't being
Yes.
said is that you know,
Yeah, for sure. It's like, let's talk about why you're feeling that way.
yeah.
That's right. In your CBC interview, you mentioned about that, about how a lot of times inadvertently parents look at their kids and say, "Oh, don't you look beautiful?" or "Look at," and you had some really good kind of alternative ways to talk to teenagers or talk to kids or talk to friends. And what are some examples of some things you can say instead of how you look?
Well, you want to always celebrate achievements and things. So, talking about, like we did earlier, like, oh, your strong legs have taken you way over here and run to me so fast, or things like, even, you're so funny, or you have the best energy, or your smile really lights up the room. You always inspire me, or you look
Yeah.
so strong. You're glowing.
Those are awesome. Yeah, and, I remember some examples in your interview, and it just made so much sense. It's just we forget because we're so entrenched in using appearance as a way to compliment someone, and I think what you're saying is, how about talk about their achievements or abilities or, just the exactly, celebrate the successes and use that as a
Yeah.
frame of reference instead of, "Oh, you don't look," I don't know, like just
Yeah.
talking about body image and how someone looks is just not very
Why?
helpful.
Why do we need to talk about our bodies? They don't determine our worth. They don't determine who we are as people. All the good things that we do, that determines none of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got one last question. Actually, we have another. We have a question that we ask all our guests at the end, but
It's
Yes.
a surprise question. You like those, right, Lisa?
Yes.
no. Number three question was, what are some ways for people to ditch diet culture and get off that train?
Great question.
That is really good. Well, we already talked about this, but number one is, don't comment on people's bodies. There are 1,000 more interesting things to notice or compliment about your friends than their bodies. Just stop commenting on people's shapes altogether. And we already went through some examples of some great things we could say instead. Another thing we can do is clean up social media. The easiest way to
Totally.
start receiving body and food positive messages and stop diet culture messages is to diversify our feed. Take a few minutes, skim through accounts that you follow that tend to be triggering or make you feel bad about yourself, and replace them with, you know, all size bodies and shapes that are in the fitness industry or wellness industry. Follow experts in the field of nutrition, like you, Sandra.
Yeah, baby.
And experts in the field of eating disorders. Those are good accounts to follow. Another good one is learn to eat according to your body's hunger cues and foods you desire. It's eating
Yes.
intuitively, listening to. That's something we've lost along the way with diet culture is when we're following those external rules, we no longer even know, are we hungry? Are we full? When we're eating certain things at a certain time in a certain amount, we're really not honoring what we need. So eating more intuitively is another big way to help ditch diet culture. Fun. It might take a little support, but there's people that can help with that. I can help with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We want to nurture our relationships with nutrition and exercise as a form of self-care, not harming ourselves. There's no such thing as perfect. There's days when we're going to eat more. There's days we're going to eat less. Same with movement. There's days where we're going to feel so full of energy, and other days where the couch sounds good.
Totally. And that's okay.
We're not robots. We don't
We're
just
not
wake up
robots.
every day. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
miss a day of working out or miss your walk, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Exactly. It's totally okay. Yep. And you know what? We can all keep learning. Listen to podcasts, read books, articles. Ask your dietitian if you're feeling wary or tempted by diet culture. You can reach out to me for that too. Knowledge is
for
power.
sure.
The more you know about something, the easier it is to make positive decisions regarding your health and wellness.
Exactly.
And I think community is really important too. I'm really glad we have you, Sandra, now as part of our team to refer out to. That's so important because there's a lot of things outside my scope of practice that I cannot do. So you're going to be my person. So you're my support system, but other people, we need to share experiences, and growth can be such a satisfying part of recovery from diet culture, especially with people that understand. We always offer people to come and join our community to learn and grow in their own relationships with food and themselves in the process, and hopefully reclaiming their lives back.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
Taking
That's
the power
right.
back.
I did have one question for you about your like your training that you do in your gym there. Like so many gyms and so many workout, it's all based around goals, and often those goals are physical goals. How do you approach that if we're trying to take the emphasis off the physical?
Well, we always aim to use our education and life experience to keep calling out toxicity within diet culture and the fitness industry.
Right.
We'll always question them, like, where are your motives coming from? Are your goals coming from something you've seen on social media, or are your goals coming from something more? Like, let's do a little digging here and figure out why you're asking for these specific goals.
Good for you. That's perfect. Yeah.
Because a lot of them will have seen a photo or a post on social media and question their own life, their weight, their eating habits, job, clothes, whatever else. And those posts can deflate them. And it's promoting the message that looks should be prioritized over physical and emotional health.
Exactly.
So we try to educate people who don't know the negative impact body standards have caused. So many people get wrapped up in aesthetics that they overlook the amazing feats their body can accomplish. So in our studio, that's what we focus on, is movement and how strong they're getting. And we don't talk about weighing or measuring. It's all focusing on moving properly and moving in ways that make you feel good, and gaining mobility and strength and stability and balance, all those great things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we need to place an increased value on strength, health, and personal achievement rather than arbitrary features like weight.
Is there, do you know if that's kind of the new trend in with gyms, or is that just you guys that are doing that? Or is like, I'd like to think there's more people out there with that philosophy, but I'm guessing
I would like to think so too.
It's too bad.
I think it's starting to take wind, I guess, or people are starting to catch on that this is a better way to live.
It is really,
Uh,
unless there's demand for it from the clients, I guess they'll change their methods. But
yeah, it's scary for people because they've known diet culture their whole life, and to break away from that, it's like relearning something new. And
it totally
they
is.
have
Yeah.
to, yeah, letting go of the safety of a diet can be terrifying for
Oh,
some,
yeah.
for many, actually. Yeah.
I have another question about, like, it's an arm of diet culture, but clients who are taking like products that promote or promise weight loss, like the multi-level marketing type of products, like the isogenics or ideal protein, and like it's a tricky conversation to have, but many people, buy into that philosophy with the false promises, and they spend all their money and they're not getting results, and it just drives me crazy.
Yes, likewise, for sure. It's just being courteous and maybe presenting some facts and giving them the option. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their choice, but all we can do is try and explain what food does for our bodies and what food does for our brains, and that there's a whole other side to this. Like, what am I trying to say? Hang on, I'm thinking of my thoughts. 1 second. I guess something like isogenics, it's all about nutrients, nutrients, nutrients equal health. When we focus on nutrients, we're sacrificing so much. Things like, well, we're creating anxious feelings now about eating actual food because we replaced our food with shakes for so long. Gives us this
True.
preoccupation with food and nervousness. So it's just trying to make them aware that a huge component of health is pleasure and joy, which comes from what? Oftentimes it's from eating beautiful meals with our family and our friends or going out to a nice restaurant. When we allow these things as part of our health journey, this will improve our mental state, our emotional state, and our physical health. And that's so often
Absolutely.
left out when you're dealing with multi-level marketing products or meal replacements or, yeah, and just trying to keep them aware. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's their decision. We just keep trying to educate them. And if we can help even just one person break away from toxic diet culture, then we've made a difference.
Oh, absolutely. I love that philosophy. That is, yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true. I mean, if you can help
Well,
one person,
yeah. Yeah.
it
We
starts
just
with
keep
one.
disconstructing the diet culture monster and that internalized fat phobia. It's a long battle, speaking from experience. And I know people sometimes are uncomfortable with what we post or what we say, but take that beating so our place can be a space where people can unpack their relationship with their body and food and exercise. Because there's been
Yeah.
a lot of damage done to a lot of individuals.
Oh,
And
yeah.
being
I mean, it's,
uncomfortable is good. That's how awareness, that's where awareness comes from, and that's where change comes from. So,
and
you got to
Absolutely.
feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable sometimes.
it can actually start at
Yes.
birth, when you weigh a baby. That's one of the first things we do is you weigh a baby. The doctors weigh the baby, or the nurses, and
You're
it's like,
right.
how
Yeah.
how big is your baby? It starts at birth, and from day one, we're measuring, and we're like, okay, how are they growing, and how? I mean, it's part of health, but at the same time, we can get preoccupied, and then parents can get preoccupied with their child's weight and their child's body size. And really, it's not the parent's job. The parent's job is to offer the food, and the child's job is to decide if they're going to eat and how much. And it's not
Right.
the responsibility of the parent how the child turns out in terms of their body shape and size. So
Exactly.
that's a
Yeah.
whole different topic and conversation, but
Yes. Yeah.
we have to
You're right.
totally, as parents, it's important to be good role models, and it's important to, the messaging and our language with our kids is so important, like you were saying.
Yes. Absolutely. Very important.
So bringing back a question, you mentioned going out for a nice meal and enjoying it and savoring it.
Yeah.
Just wondering, what is the dish that you typically bring to a potluck or a family gathering when you're going to get together with family, maybe over Christmas or Thanksgiving or any kind of barbecue or whatever? It might be different depending on the season, but what would be a dish
Yeah.
that you typically bring?
Well, the one that comes to mind that everybody always loves and I love is my grandma's recipe for I call it Grandma's Pineapple Dream Dessert. So it's this light, fluffy, delicious for any occasion, winter or summer, I say. It's easy. It's this cream cheese layer, graham crust, light whipped topping, and tasty crushed pineapple. And it takes me right back to when I was little and I'd watch my grandma make it. And then we'd all eat it together as a family. And it's like eating memories. Yum.
Those are the best
Tasty memories.
recipes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. She was a special lady. She could cook really well and bake like nobody's business.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
It's good.
Well, that's awesome. Oh, well, good. I'm so glad that you were able to we were able to interview you today and just get some thoughts and musings around diet culture. And was there anything else that you wanted to mention or burning information that you wanted to say that we didn't cover yet?
How about a plug for your business? Do you guys have a website or social media pages or something you want to shout out?
Have a Activate Athletic Studio Facebook page and Instagram page.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's where you can find us for sure on those two platforms.
We'll put some links to that on our site as well so people can find it.
Yeah, for sure.
Activate Athletic Studio in the show notes. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And I can close with everybody's more than welcome to pursue whatever they want, but please ask yourselves, where is this motivation coming from? What are the sacrifices you're making to look a certain way? And what do you think you'll gain by having this look? And what do I want to spend my time, energy, money, and thoughts on? If you spend all your time trying to remodel yourself, it makes it very hard to actually feel at home in your body and make those memories and experience life. And I say this from my heart because I lived that for a long time. I don't want you guys going there.
I love it. Oh my gosh. It's kind of like answering the why. Like, why are you doing this? Like,
Totally.
Like, exactly.
That is awesome. I love it.
I like to ask people why, and it stops them in their tracks because so many people never do that. They never question why they're doing something or why they think a certain way. And it's so important.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad to hear that you guys are taking that approach.
Yes, for sure. We love it. Very happy with this shift for sure.
Right on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And look forward to
My pleasure.
Seeing you in person again soon.
Guys, for sure. You betcha.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for joining us today, Lisa. We'll talk to you again another time, I'm sure.
Fabulous. My pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take it easy.
Wow, that was a really powerful and informative interview.
Yeah, that was quite the story, and it's really nice to hear someone with that philosophy involved in the fitness industry. You know, it's rare, I think, and hopefully it's moving in that direction, and that people are getting away from the body shape and that sort of thing. So
yeah, it's a refreshing thing to see.
Refreshing for sure. So you can find out more about Lisa on her social media pages. We'll link to those in the show notes below. And what do we got coming up next week?
Gout, the disease of kings and the king of arthritis.
Arthritis. Yeah, I don't know anything about gout. So if you're in that boat as well, then tune in and we'll learn together. You can also check out our social media pages. We're on Facebook and Instagram under My Wife the Dietitian, YouTube as well. You can check out our website at mywifethedietitian.com, and you can always email us your questions and comments and ideas to mywifetherd@gmail.com. And anything else, Sandra?
No, I'm stoked about the recent comment we got about our new nutrition nuggets midweek episodes. Thanks for the comments, you guys.
Totally, I forgot about that. We've got that midweek nutrition nuggets every Wednesday. So a mini episode.
Yeah,
they're like 5-10 minutes long. So give that a listen. We got another one coming out Wednesday.
Yeah, we got a really good one too. That's
a little meditation with Sandra. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Not this Wednesday, but that'll be coming up at some point. So look for that. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope it was eye-opening, and I hope you learned something. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.